How do narcissists respond when you want to discuss something important? Yeah, we're going to talk about that in this video. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am an attorney. I'm also a narcissist negotiation expert, and I've also dealt with a couple of covert narcissists in my personal life. So I've had a lot of fun with narcissists. That's why it is my mission, my crusade to help you break free from the chains of narcissists and toxic relationships in general, whether it's a business relationship or a romantic relationship. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so that when I release brand new videos, brand new content, which is every single day, that you will get notified. And that way you can start the process of healing as well as quickly as possible. Okay, how do narcissists respond when you want to discuss something important? And, I want to make sure that I emphasize for you that the reason why I'm doing this particular video is not to just slam on narcissists and go, this is what they say, blah, blah, blah. Especially as an attorney, I think it's really, really important that you recognize the things that they're saying so that you can use this as an opportunity to learn and then start shifting that dynamic. I teach people how to negotiate powerfully so that you can start shifting that dynamic, start to learn to break free. The conditioning didn't happen overnight, right? That love bombing was a conditioning. You have to recondition yourself. So I always say, step 1, don't run. Step 2, make a U-turn. Step 3, break free. But that step 1 process, part of that is creating those boundaries. And then part of it is also this education process, figuring out what's going on. And the first part of that was that awakening where you were like, wait a minute, I didn't even know that this was narcissism. And now I'm realizing that this is what it is. So let me recognize this. Let me recognize what's going on. And then how can I start to turn this around? How can I start to shift this power dynamic? How can I start to get these tools that I need to become more powerful so that I can actually become the most confident, powerful version of myself? Because you know what, I'm going to tell you right now, there will always be narcissists in this world. They will always be toxic. You can't do anything about them, but you can do something about yourself. And that is the whole purpose of what I do. What I'm doing on this channel is helping you empower yourself with the tools that you need and putting them in your hands to become the most powerful version of yourself. Okay, got it? And by the way, I do have a free key phrases for disarming narcissists, which you can get at disarmthenarc.com. So go ahead and grab those to get yourself started. And then let's talk about the 7 narcissist responses when you want to discuss something important. So number 1 is, this isn't a good time. This isn't a good time, or something like that. This isn't a good time. Why are you bringing that up now? Basically they want to change that subject. They want to pivot. They want to get away from it. They want to deflect because, let's just say you say something like, I found a text message, or something suspicious is going on, or I figured out that you're lying about something, or why didn't you do this thing that you said you're going to do, whatever it is, or I'm feeling like I want to talk about my feelings, or whatever it is that they're not comfortable with. This is going to be, why are you bringing that up now? Whatever it is. Then when you start to say, you start to take that bait. You start to go down that path. They went fishing and you took the bait. Well, why isn't it a good time? When would be a good time? I'm bringing it up now because, we both work during the day and we just are now home and we just had dinner and this would be the only time that I would have to talk to you about it. Well, I am tired now and I can't talk to you now. That's when they start to say other things, and so it's just constantly, deflecting. So that's number one. Number two is they just play dumb. I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. You'll ask them about the same text message, or, let's just say I saw something on your phone that looked suspicious, or an email or something, or I saw a paper laying out and I don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't make any sense to me, whatever. They just play completely dumb. And of course, that's a form of gaslighting. It's supposed to make you think that you're crazy because, of course, whatever it is that you're asking them about, of course, it looks suspicious. I mean, it might be like, miss you with heart emojis or something like that. And they'll act like I don't even know what you're talking about. So that's number two. Number three is you're just delusional. You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're seeing. You're blowing things out of proportion. You're out of control. Now it's all on you. You're the one who's crazy. You're the one who's just out of your mind. And that's another narcissistic response when you want to discuss something important. Once again, it's deflecting, but this time it's going to be projecting it onto you. And, instead of taking your feelings and taking them into consideration, a regular reasonable person, just to contrast this, a regular reasonable person would sit down with you, would have a conversation with you, listen to your concerns, hear what you're saying. I understand your concerns. I can see why you would think that this would seem suspicious, but this is what's actually going on, something to that effect. But, a narcissistic person goes right after you. You're crazy, you're delusional, you're insane. They might even accuse you of being the narcissist, and then, something to that effect. Number four is you're yelling. I can't talk to you when you're yelling. And by the way, they'll say this even if you're whispering. You could be saying, I want to talk to you about this suspicious email, or I need to talk to you about my feelings, or I want to have this conversation with you now about what's going on in our relationship and how we are struggling to communicate. Or if it's a business partner, you might say, I wanted to talk to you about the assignments, things that you had said that you were going to be accomplishing, and they haven't been done yet. Oh, you're yelling at me. I can't talk to you when you're yelling. This is not a productive conversation when you're yelling at me. And then you say, I'm not yelling at you. Nobody was yelling at you. And then they say, you were yelling. And now you get into this whole thing about who was yelling and who wasn't yelling. Then this is where you're going, because what they're doing is they're trying to make sure you don't ever get to the point. So, and if you've seen any of this so far, give me a totally in the comments. Just give me a totally in the comments. And number five is actually related to number four, which is you're interrupting me, even if you didn't. So number four was you're yelling, even if you were whispering. And number five is you're interrupting me, even if you didn't. So you can say, I wasn't yelling. And like, oh yeah, you did. And then number 5 is you're interrupting me, even if you didn't. And most of the time, they're the ones who are interrupting. And you can say, but you were interrupting me. And they will insist that you interrupted them. And the whole point of all of this noise and chaos and this whole ridiculous conversation is just to make sure that you never got to the point. And then they'll start to say things like, we need to record these conversations because I can't talk to you because you're the one who lies and you're lying now. And you're lying about this conversation. And how can we ever have a conversation? Because you're lying about who was yelling first and who was interrupting, and all of that noise is meant to take away from making sure that you never get to your point in the first place, because you're trying to discuss whatever it is that you wanted to discuss, and they don't want you to ever get there, right? That's number 5. Number six was, there you go. We were having a perfectly wonderful evening, a perfectly great day, and you had to go and ruin it. You had to go and bring it down with your energy or your bad vibes. You had to go and mess with it. Why do you have to go and do that all the time? Everything was great. And then you had to come along and bring us all down and bring me down, and just kind of like guilt trip you because you wanted to bring up something about what's going on, about your feelings, about whatever it is that was important to you or important to the relationship or important to even, if it's business or personal, it doesn't matter. Something that was important that needed to be discussed. Instead of addressing it, instead of allowing you to address it, they'll just say, oh, there you go, bringing something up, messing with the day, bringing us down once again, to try to make you feel bad, to try to guilt you. But then, of course, there again is something to say to not allow you to get to the point. All of these responses are meant to not allow you to get to the point, your point, not allow you to feel seen, not allow you to feel heard, to make sure that you know that you don't matter. Your feelings don't matter, okay? Because they're not equipped to feel your feelings, and they don't want to have to do that, right? So that's number 6. And number seven is no one else ever asks me these questions. No one else disrespects me this way. No one else ever interrogates me like this. No one else ever does this to me. No one else ever accuses me like this. You're the only one who ever does this. This is the no one else does this other than you syndrome. No one else, everyone else. No one else, everyone else. And that's something that you see quite a bit with the narcissistic phrases to try to make you feel like you're the one who's crazy and isolate you once again. I want you to make sure that you get the help and support that you need, because this is something that they often do, is try to isolate you and make you think that you're the one who's crazy, okay? So make sure that you get the help and support that you need by going to my Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And if you need help and support and you don't have access to therapy, I have a sponsor on this channel, which is BetterHelp. And you can get that at betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung. We receive commissions on that. You don't pay any extra for that. We just want you to have the help and support that you need. And the next video that I want you to watch is phrases a covert narcissist uses to lower your self-esteem. And make sure that you have subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell first. And remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. And then we're going to go over there and watch that next video together. Phrases a covert narcissist uses to lower your self-esteem. All right. And I will see you over there.